having trouble moving past where Gandalf told King Theoden to pick up his sword. If he picked up his sword, he would remember his strength. The Bible, God's Word, will help you remember your strength when you are tired. And just when I think about all that, the two verses come to mind, Psalm 144:1 and Jeremiah 51:20. And Psalm 144:1 says, "May the Lord, my rock, be praised, who trains my hands for battle and my fingers for warfare." And then in Jeremiah 51:20, "You are my battle axe and weapons of war. For with you I will break the nation in pieces. With you I will destroy kingdoms." God will teach you to fight for what is yours. God will use you to bring ruin to what Satan wants to do in the earth. God has a purpose and a plan and a destiny for your life. So arise and be all that he has dreamed that you can be. You get a double portion today. And I may go back and rewatch the all Lord of the Rings movies and pull more spiritual principles out of them. But right now I just want to recap the scenes in order real quick. So the first scene in order, I think, was the last one I did, which is on the way to meet King Theoden. Gandalf tells Aragorn that the enemy fears who he may become. And I just want to tell you that Satan fears who you will become. And then the next scene is when they meet King Theoden. He looks old and has a snake-like man in his ear. And then when the enemy is kicked out of his life, he de-ages what looks to be like 30 years or so. And when he grabs his sword, he remembers who he is. So I just want to remind you to not listen to the enemy, the lies of the enemy, for they will change you, but the truth will also change you. The thing with that scene, one of the things that makes that scene so powerful is the lies change him into a man that's unrecognizable, and then when the enemy's kicked out, he comes back to himself. That's just one thing that just sticks with me that's so powerful. Your strength and identity is in God's Word. And so that's, when you pick up the Bible, that's, what they're referring to, or, it's referred to as a sword. And so, when you feel weak, pick up God's Word, and that's where you get your strength and identity from. And then the Battle of Helm's Deep. I'm not going to go through it all like I did before, but as you know, it's my favorite. And so, and these people, the King Theoden's people, they live on the plains. Well, when they're about to be attacked, they run to the mountains. And that's something very important that we must remember, is that we need to run to the mountain of God, for it is where our help comes from. So in times of distress and trouble, and when we don't know what to do, it's important to run to God. And then my favorite part, the horn shall sound in the deep one last time. Remember just to let whatever's inside of you come from the depths of who you are. Don't be afraid. And sometimes I, won't say, repeat that to myself at all. And then there'll be days where I'll repeat it to myself several times a day. So just, don't be afraid to say, I'm going to be all who I can be today, and say it over and over every day. And then the very end, when help comes, that remember, God may seem late to us, but he is always on time. And I know he never works in my time. I'm sure he doesn't work in your time either, but remember, God is God, and he comes right on time. And then in the first one that I did, which is really the last scene in this sequence, and it's in the third movie. It's when Aragorn takes the sword. And this scene is so powerful because up until this point, he really hadn't stepped into who he was supposed to be. But this is where he decides that he will step into his identity. And so I just want to encourage you to walk in your identity. The world needs you. You must put aside who you have been and become who you were created to be. The world is eagerly waiting for the sons and daughters of God. So arise, the world is waiting. Step into your destiny. Become who you were called to be. Thanks for watching and listening. It would mean so much to me if you hit the like or subscribe button on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube, or like the Facebook page.